Thanks for tuning in today. I have another special episode for you, and one that is very dear to my heart, and that is custom projects. This baby right here will tow over 500 pounds, as long as you're not in a hurry at least. So this is one of my projects. I've been going on this one for quite a few years, and it's gone through a lot of different variations. It originally started out as a regular old Power Wheels Jeep. You can see the rear of the body there. It's kind of a two-piece old style. This is one of the original ones that Power Wheels made. And we have all the rest of the accessories all taken off, the hood clips and stuff like that. But right now I'm redoing it with essentially a go-kart platform underneath. It's got a go-kart solid axle, a go-kart pillow blocks, the bearing blocks, whatever you want to call them. And it also has the same style of gear down. And it's actually pretty rad at this point, if I do say so myself. It has a whole lot of towing power, being that it's a solid axle, it just doesn't get stuck. And what I'm doing right now is going through giving it more gear down so that it has even more torque, because I don't need to go that fast, honestly. Somewhere around like 7-8 miles an hour is going to be plenty of speed for this dangerous little guy. But I actually need to change out the steering servo on it. We'll take a look here. And it's got one of those Servo City steering servo kits. And unfortunately, I overvolted the previous servo that I had on a GWS brush servo. It's rated for 6 volts. I put 7.4 on it thinking maybe I get a little bit more torque out of it. And you know what I got is a little bit more smoke out of it. It lasted like 30 seconds. So, you know, live and learn. Not all servos can take a little bit extra voltage. But what I'm going to throw in there is a SHV 500 so that I can run it directly off of 12 volts. And what I'm probably going to do is actually run this entire rig off of 24 volts so it can use a lithium pack that has a BMS integrated and just use basically a regular old charger that I have plenty of. We look underneath the hood and I got some stuff stored in here. It's running off a regular old Mamba Max ESC, surprisingly. And you know, no amp limiting, nothing like that, but the resistance of the motor is so high that it's really not that big of a deal. Now, it does have a little bit of problem in reverse because the Mamba X expects there to be a little bit of forwards timing. So going forwards, it works out just fine, but you give it reverse and it kind of advances the timing wrongly, and it stutters a little bit, but it still works. And honestly, I'm not going to be driving this thing in reverse very much. So let's just kind of show you. Right now, it's only running on 4-cell. I just got a little 4-cell LiPo for testing, so it's not that fast. It's, you know, barely walking pace, maybe like 4 miles an hour. And the steering servo is dead, so I got no steering right now. But when it works well. And essentially, this is a radio controlled car when it boils down to it. Really good low speed control because of course we got the Mamba X. I mean, I can creep all day with this guy, but you know, here's our speed. And it goes forwards, it goes backwards, it's got good drag brake, you know, it's an RC car. But it is an RC car that I can sit on, I can put a loaded up cooler on, I can tow my kids behind it while I'm sitting on it with a loaded up cooler, and the motor does not care. The ESC, as long as I keep the fan on it, it probably won't care. I can always switch out to a Mamba X later, or even use an e-bike controller if I can figure out how to integrate an RC controller with an e-bike controller. And I'm gonna have to program a little IC essentially to give us the reversing aspect of it. I'd have to switch a pin to high, basically put 5 volt on a pin to get reverse out of the e-bike ESC. And I'm not really wanting to do that much work right now. So for the moment, we're just using a Mamba X, and hey, it works. So, you know, maybe it's not gonna take me sitting on it for long periods of time, but the only way that we know is to actually do it. So you know what I'm gonna do? is I'm gonna get this guy running today. I'm gonna switch out the steering servo so that it actually works. And then I'll try to run it on, you know, like 12 volts or 16 volts, something that's not too crazy yet, and see if I can get things to smoke. And if it doesn't smoke, then hey, we got ourselves a runner. At the very least, I can put a cooler on it, bring some drinks with me, go play disc golf or do something like that, play around with some friends, maybe, you know, throw the kid on there and drive him around or her around. Both of them really enjoy this guy. So, you know, it is what it is, a fun project, which is by far the best thing about being self-employed and doing electronics for a living, is that I get to do fun things like this. You know, I've got a welder, I've got a grinder, I've got all the tools needed to make something like this. So it would be a shame to not do it, in my opinion. I mean, if I can do this and I'm not doing this, then I am really screwing up my life right now, you know. in my opinion, right? But as long as we're having fun, that's really all that matters. So what I'm going to do is have a little bit more fun a little later today. Maybe tow 500 pounds with this sweet baby, and we'll be off to, I don't know, having even more fun. I mean, we'll just stack fun on fun today. Let's just go for it. So thanks for tuning in. I mean, you probably got some questions about this weird thing, so post them down below if you got them. I'll get around to answering them at some point in time once I'm done having fun with this sweet baby, right? So thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.